the end of January 2011, Brian started experiencing some back pain, and it was making it where he could not lay flat to sleep at night. He would sleep sitting up in a recliner. So in 10 days, we went from back pain to a number of tests once it got elevated to his primary care physician, and it was diagnosed as stage 4 colon cancer 10 days later. You know, it's life changes at an instant. Our pastor had said something to us when he visited right before Brian passed this year. And he was like, I bet it's a little surreal for you. And I said, I've been living in surreality for about a year because your priorities change. You know, he became the focus of everything to make sure that he was getting the best care and that we were doing everything we could for him. We had intentionally decided we were going to tell the kids at a family meeting that we had stopped the chemo, that there was no other medical option, but you're always looking for that perfect time. We were all in the living room, and one of my teenage daughters just kind of said something sarcastically and a little bit smart to her dad and took off down the hall, and he was going to have nothing of it. And he was still mobile at the time, so he went down the hall after her, and the next thing I know, they're face to face screaming at each other. He came out and he said, I have less than 6 months to live and I don't have time to deal with this or this attitude. And that was the first time all the kids heard that news. So I went back out to the living room, and we've got my older son and my younger daughter there, tears running down their face. I went down to the end of the hallway. The other two are looking at each other, tears running down their face. And it's like, well, I guess the word got out. That wasn't how we planned it, but it was there. Well, one thing that really blessed me is I had him write a Caring Bridge entry a year to the date of his diagnosis. So on February 8th of 2012, he wrote an entry and he talked about what God had been teaching him through it, but that if one person came to Christ, it would have been worth what he'd been going through. Shortly after that, I got a Facebook message from one friend who said, I'm that one. And then there's another couple that at Brian's memorial, you know, I made sure the pastor left no one without excuse when they left there. And as they were coming through the receiving line, a couple said, you know, we came to Christ. And that blessed me so much because I wanted Brian to be part of the Kingdom Party while we were celebrating his life down here, and so that happened. So we know of 3, but you know, with people reading the Caring Bridge and watching his story and watching our family, I'm sure there are more that have been positively impacted. And that's why we wanted to share here, because I want his legacy to be one of continuing to make a difference.